When I think about my ancestors, it is a question that I often go into this daydream because my lineage is so full of mystery. And like everything else, we don't know all of the details. So when I think of myself and my lineage, I think of the Americas. I think of myself as being Amerindian. In other words, an indigenous person from the Americas. I'm not only Central American, but I'm North American and South American. This is my lineage. If I look at it scientifically, I did do some investigations on DNA, and it's right on. It's, the words, almost 90% from the three Americas. And I often say to folks that we have constantly, from the beginning of time, have been on the path of migration. And I believe in my heart that it is a human thing. Human thing meaning it's a necessity, whether it's for survival, whether it's, there's so many questions as to why we would go from one place to another. And this is just the way that it has been from the beginning of time. Scientifically, if I look at my lineage and the things that I am enamored with, I could go back into the Stone Age. I mean, even before that, I have something like almost 4% Neanderthal, which, it's a lot. And not only that, but, give me a break. They're not Central American, And so in my cubbies of medicine, I have like a mastodon tooth that's carved into like a crystal skull, like a skull. And then I have some of the mammoth wool. A little tough, but it's my little tough. And I use it in ceremony to bring in the spirit of my ancestors. I'm absolutely in love with rocks. I don't know anything about geology. I don't know anything about anything because I'm not like an educated person in the Western world. I'm speaking only about the passion in my heart and those things that I love that are around me, or perhaps maybe I traveled into the area. So when I think about my ancestry, I think about the indigenous people of the Americas. And I know that in doing some readings, there is a lot of information of many of us, how we are we're related. Central, South, North. And in my travels, I feel at home. I feel very much at home. And all of these places that I have gone to that I felt very much at home, I mean, so at home that I did not want to come to my own home. I wanted to stay there. There was something about the land that embraced me. The spirit of the ancestors of the land just totally embraced me, and I felt so much at home. But I was born and raised in Nicaragua. This is where I come from. I'm what's called Nicaragüense, and my ancestors come from the northern part of Nicaragua, from the mountainside of Nicaragua. If we were to look at my indigenous roots, it is Maya. These are my ancestors. There is this longing in my heart as I was growing up about my ancestry, the language, the prayers, the ceremony, like nothing else. Nothing else, meaning my family. When I speak about my family, I speak about my mom, because I was 2 years old when my father passed away. But both my mother and my father practiced the medicine. It's what we call curanderismo. But we were not a family that went to church. And the reason for that was, these are my mom's words, we do not support the church financially, monetarily. We don't have the money. And so because we did not have the money, we did not go to church. So church for me was something that I have to say that just very few times I remember things about the church. Can I share with you a little story about the church? Okay. So when I was like really young, maybe 7 years old, maybe 8 years old, my mom mentioned to us that there was going to be a procession, right? And the procession was going to come right in front of the house. And so when I saw the procession, there was being carried, there was a saint called, in Spanish, we called it La Purísima. And she is like the saint of the community where I come from. And that means that she is the saint of purity. And so she came, she was being carried by some men. And right on each side of her, there were two little girls dressed up in white with like these feathered wings and a halo. And when I saw that, I just started to cry. And my mom said, "Girl, what is wrong?" And I said to her, "Mom, I want to do that. I want to be like the girls." And she said to me, "We don't have any money. We don't support the church. It's, these are people that have the money, and, you can't be that, And so it was like, oh no. But that was like one of the things that I think about the church, how there is such a separation between those that are in poverty and those that have the money. And that's how it is in Central America. Yeah. So when I think about my inheritance, my ancestor, I think about these oppositions between the church and the traditional medicine. And all of these things, I mean, it's, we could write a book about it, it's a huge, huge separation. But I've had incredible visions and dreams with angels and experiences. And even though they're not really I guess it's everyone's tradition, if you hold it in your heart and they come. Yeah. But I've been told that a huge percentage of Central America, from the Yucatan Peninsula down into Nicaragua, are Mayan descent. Of course, the biggest number and of even traditional Maya are in Guatemala. For us, there were Nicaragua was involved in the Banana Republic Wars in the 20s and 30s, and my mother expressed to me that we were not allowed to wear our traditional clothing, and it was at that time that they were removed. So when you go into Guatemala or go into areas of the Yucatan, you could still see the women with the traditional clothing. And when I found this out of how we lost our clothing, I decided to, how should I say, honor that. And I started to buy a lot of the different Mayan traditional clothing. So I do wear them. Whenever necessary, meaning, if I have to get dressed up in my traditional clothing. But the Maya is absolutely so rich, and so and the teachings are so in depth that it takes more than a lifetime to really, really understand what all of their teachings are about. I went back to Central America after an adult, after I was married, and I studied with my beloved teacher for over 3 decades. And I was taught, ceremony and prayer and many different ways of doing the traditional medicine. My teacher is still alive, and it's an incredible relationship, because in Central America, when you make a commitment to study with a teacher, it's for life. It's a study for life. And, in that relationship, you have an enormous amount of positiveness. And then you have, moments of indifference. And what that means is, when you study with a traditional elder, and let's say that maybe I have a vision or a dream of a santo or ángeles, angels or saints, you can't even speak about it because it's not of the Maya tradition. So tradition is very strict. And so I call myself a universal being, because I want to be able to experience all of the different traditions. And I find myself to be happiest and fulfilled when I experienced all that exists.
That was
and I did ask my teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him that is the only way that I could actually walk spiritually, is by being a universal person. And he gave me that permission and accepted me that way. Yeah, just really sweet. The animal world for me is something so, so special. But I want to share with everybody that we have the capacity to not only see what we are seeing in three-dimensional in the physical world, but also what lives in the invisible world. And I am able to journey into the physical world. And I have, in this piece of land that I have here in New Mexico, the most incredible selection of invisible animals. One of the beautiful animals that I have is a rainbow serpent. And she is very, very big. She's about 900 feet long. And I'm saying 900 because I have walked it, you know, and counted my feet on how long she is. And this beautiful, beautiful rainbow serpent gave birth to a baby dragon 4 years ago. On December 18th of this year, the baby's going to be 4 years old. But the baby right now has a solid color. It has not changed. And I don't know the specifics of when the baby's going to change color. The baby has wings, little teeny weeny little baby wings, and it's still pretty small in comparison to the mom. But when she came, she had a baby in utero. And I asked her that if she stayed, that I would take care of her and the baby. And so I have this baby dragon. And the baby dragon has become very, very involved with the water temple. In other words, it'll go into the water and it'll transform the rock into a huge dragon. And it's really, really beautiful to watch that kind of happen. The other thing that I have that is there on the land is an enormous, enormous wolf. And the wolf must be about maybe 4 feet tall at the shoulders. It's really, really big. But it doesn't just stay on the land. It has come into my bedroom. As of the moment, the wolf has not said anything. And I have seen it also on the road. But it is, it's an invisible situation. It lives in an invisible world, and yet it has the capacity to become almost physical. Because when I saw it in my bedroom, it was absolutely three-dimensional. But I knew that it was a spirit wolf because it's the same wolf that I've seen down the road and in the property. Yeah. There are other animals, like there's a little owl that is the sweetest thing. And when she touches you with her little foot, she just infuses love like all over you. And it is something that I have never felt before. It lasted like days and days. I just had these waves of this pure love just moving through me. And she talks. And all she knows how to say is, I love you. It's so sweet. And of course, I could go on and on about different little animals. But I love that world. I absolutely love that world. And there's also the world of the little people. We call it in Spanish, the duendes. And the duendes are, they're little beings that that come, actually, they come at your birth. And what the elders tell us about the duendes is that they come and they receive you at birth, and they become your duende throughout your life, and they're always there, to be with you, to protect you, to talk to you. And then when you are older, they come when you're crossing over. But the duendes that I have in the land is like a whole community. It's like a lot of them, and they're androgynous little children. And they absolutely love ceremony. Absolutely love ceremony. And sometimes they're a little mischievous. Like sometimes I'll misplace something, and I know that I'm pretty good at knowing where I left my things. And if I start talking to them and saying, by the way, I'm missing something, but I know how they are. And if I always give them something that's a little bit shiny, like something out of metal or something like that, I would give them an exchange, right? I would say, I have this gift for you, but can I have my whatever that's lost? Can I have it back? And it'll appear, and then the metal thing would disappear. But I have a lot of things that disappear. and sometimes they're big things. So I know that it's the duendes. And it's okay. It's the kind of relationship that we have. And I just absolutely love them. My message to the world at this moment is I wanna first of all share with everybody that I received a confirmation from Spirit. And what I mean by that is I was taken to this place in a vision. I had never visited this place. I can't say that it's here, there. I can't say that. This place was like a very, very big arena. And inside the arena, there was an oblong table. And around the oblong table, there were beings that were luminous. Everything about them was luminous. Their bodies, I'm speaking about their skin, the hair, their clothing. The table was luminous. And one of the beings stood up. And when I came into this this massive arena, there were a lot of people, like hundreds and hundreds of people. And we were all brought in at the same time. We were greeting each other. And I knew a lot of people. And we were just so happy to see each other. And there we were greeting each other. And this being stood up from the center. And when the being spoke, it spoke as if it had like a microphone, because everybody just turned around and looked towards the center. And when the being spoke, he said, and I'm saying he because it wasn't like this very feminine voice. It just sounded like a very strong voice. And the voice said, "We have brought you here." And then there was a pause. And then the next couple of words were, "We have brought you here because we want to thank you. We want to say thank you for all of your prayers, because your prayers has brought humanity into another dimension." And we all kind of had like a moment of realization that of this incredible confirmation of where the heart felt and received this confirmation from these heavenly beings. And then there was this pause in everybody's mind and heart, and just feeling like we are being heard. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful feeling. And the reason that I want to share this with everybody is to say to you, let's just keep the prayers going. We should continue with our prayers, because if where it's taken us, where we are helping humanity, and we are pushing everybody into another dimension, then we have to keep going. So I encourage each and every one of you to pray, to continue the prayer, because we are being heard, and it is a confirmation from the invisible beings. And if I have been shown and told, then it's for everybody. Yeah. So Rosie, let me do a little bit of murmurio so that, we can bring all of this together, okay? Yeah. I'm gonna embrace my heart and send love to everybody. Living in love. Sending love and gratitude to everyone. Much love and light to everyone. Thank you.